Base 29, Palms, California, home of 2nd Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment. And we're inside of an Abrams tank, and we're getting ready to lock and load and do some damage, some serious damage.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
The Abrams is one of the most effective war machines on the planet. Its armor plating is a high-tech sandwich of steel, ceramic plates, and air pockets. And it can fire up to 8 rounds per minute, hitting targets 2.4 miles away. But like anything good, it didn't just get here overnight. The first tank design came along in the 1400s. And the genius behind it was none other than Mr. Mona Lisa himself, Leonardo da Vinci. His tank had a wooden shell and 4 huge wooden wheels. It looked darn cute, but so far as we know, he never did build the doggone thing. In World War I, the first tanks appeared on the battlefield.
The gun's hot!
By World War II, bruisers like the Sherman and the German Tiger were going head-to-head. But just as valuable were light tanks like the Stuart, with its speed and agility. After the Second World War, tanks cemented their place in every battle plan, and engineers got to thinking about the next generation. 1960. M60 Patton. Weight 53 ton. Speed 30 miles per hour. Main gun 105 millimeter. Named after George Patton, the M60 was built as a direct response to the new generation of Russian tanks that appeared in the 50s. Faster, bigger gun, and with the thickest armor of any U.S. tank to date, the M60 eventually became our first space-age tank. And Dan Little here knows what makes the M60 tick. What sets this tank aside from the other ones up to this date?
So the main thing that set this one apart was they added a Ruby laser rangefinder, a ballistics computer, which would go in and compensate for wind, humidity, temperature changes. Before, when you're shooting at a target, the commander would have to kind of guess how to lob the shell out to hit the target at a different range based on their experiences and stuff. This here would tell the computer, hey, this is where it's at, here's where to point the barrel to hit it, and it would shoot and nail it.
Before the late 70s, a tank's targeting system was only as good as the gunner's skill. Range was an educated guess. In 1978, the third-generation M60A3 featured a groundbreaking thermal sight with a laser rangefinder. From this, a computer calculated the target's exact range and position. It also calculated the precise trajectory, or ballistic arc, needed to land around on its nose. A screen showed the gunner where to aim, and bingo! He just hits the trigger. Now, I'm sure that the geeks among you out there will be very pleased about this computational hoo-ha. But there are other features that make the M60 one heck of an off-road vehicle. In World War II, the Sherman tank had trouble overcoming obstacles, especially Nazi tank traps, which would stop them dead in their tracks. Post-war, producing a tank that could drive over just about anything became a top priority. And the M60 had the horsepower and track width to do just that. The M60 was designed to overcome all kinds of obstacles, especially fighting in an urban setting. It came into its own in Vietnam in 1968, the battle for the city of Hue. Street fighting at its nastiest, the M60 made a path for the Marines block by block, making sure the way was clear, going through walls, over all kinds of debris, and all sorts of barriers. How much of a barrier? Well, there's only one way to find that out now, isn't there? It's time to give you a personal demonstration of the M60's all-terrain capabilities. I'm letting it loose in the urban environment it's designed for. Come on, let's go drive over that big Cadillac. Come on, let's go. Rock and roll.
All right, let's go get it. Run over this car. Yee-haw! Yeah! Up and over. Run, crack. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is some cool stuff. 60 tons. That's what this baby weighs, and we just went right over top of that Cadillac.
Apart from their service in Vietnam, the M60 spent 3 decades babysitting the Cold War border in Western Europe. It wasn't until 1991 that it got let off the leash again. In Kuwait, Iraq invaded the oil-rich kingdom. Russian-made T-54s went head-to-head against our tanks. The M60's 105mm cannon outblasted the T-54's 100mm gun. Add in your tank's state-of-the-art laser and thermal sight, and no wonder the M60 won hands down. And you can bet they got to do a little crushing over there, too.
All right, let's rock.
It's time for me to finish the job here. Now that is a thing of beauty, flatter than a pancake.
All right, Dan the man, there's what I'm talking about.
There you
Look
go.
at this. Now that's damage, isn't it?
That is some severe damage, Gunny.
Now can you imagine if you're on the battlefield in a pillbox or something, and you see this baby coming up after you?
I wouldn't want to be the guy on the other end of that thing.
No, I would have had to leave, you know? And I think most of them did too.
I would think so. I'd hope so.
But that is some severe damage there.
The M60 was the top U.S. tank for 20 years, but modern warfare called for something even more brutal and more sophisticated.
The M60 served us well for many years, but with the explosion of technology that came during the Cold War, our peacetime military had plenty of time for R&D to get the next generation tank just right.
1985, Abrams M1A1. Weight, 67.7 tons. Speed, 41.5 miles per hour. Main gun, 120mm. Yeah. Finally, the biggest, meanest steel monster ever. Designed to give the USA supreme power on any battlefield. It's the backbone of the U.S. military's armored forces. The world's ultimate chariot of war.
Now we're talking the latest in high-tech armor, advanced anti-ballistic technology, 3 high-powered machine guns, and the icing on the cake is a hair-raising, earth-shaking 120mm main gun that'll blast the bad guys back into next week.
Would you believe no Abrams tank has ever been destroyed by enemy fire? And that's because it's protected by something the Brits invented, carbon armor. Now, this is top secret stuff, but I can tell you it combines metal, ceramics, and air pockets. When an incoming round hits, the ceramic deforms the round, preventing any further penetration. The air pockets prevent the shock of impact traveling through to the cabin. Yep, a tank that can't be killed. It just keeps going after the bad guys. Sergeant Jacobson here says that the Abrams has a whole bag of tricks that give the USA the edge in battle.
Okay, Jake, let's see how much I know. To accelerate, you pull back. Now, what happens when I want to turn is that turns it left,
That's it.
and that takes it right.
Just like a bike, that's it.
No quick movement. Where's the on-off switch?
The on-off switch is right here.
That's the ignition switch, basically. Okay, the green light probably indicates on.
It's on.
See how sharp I am?
That's it.
I'm not as dumb as I look, am I? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to drive.
Well, let's go, guy.
Let's rock.
The Abrams tips the scales at darn near 68 tons. Now, it's not only rugged like the Sherman, but at more than 40 miles per hour, it's even faster than the little Stuart. And it can lob even more metal further down range than its predecessor, the good old M60.
Nothing says superiority on the battlefield louder than this beautiful 120 millimeter cannon. Now, let's put some steel down range. All right, Sergeant Jacobson, let's go find something to kill.
Previously, shooting on the move was a hit-and-miss affair. One bump can put your aim off target, but the Abrams introduced a gyro-stabilized barrel and turret. Electric motors hold the gun steady no matter what the rest of the tank's doing. This stabilized gun control means that the Abrams can hold a steady shot while on the move. No shot is wasted. The fire control computer is a major upgrade from the M60. It has improved range and accuracy and even factors in the heat of the barrel. And thermal imaging means it can shoot anytime, even in a dust storm.
What do you think, Sergeant Jacobson? Shall we lock and load? Shall we get ready to fire this monster?
Let's get ready to fire this thing, Gunny. Do.
3, 2, 1.
No way.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
The shell leaves the barrel at close to 2,500 miles per hour. In two Gulf Wars, U.S. tanks reigned supreme. The Russian-built opposition with inferior firepower and armor is almost useless in sandstorms and darkness. The Abrams thermal imaging and supreme accuracy makes it deadly effective in all conditions.
You don't mind safing that, Gunny?
Okay, the gun is safe.
Inside the Abrams, there's 90 years of invention. 590 if we count Da Vinci's designs. It's just the perfect combination of every tank innovation since Louis Renault invented the rotating turret. It's agile like the Stuart, has more killing power than ever, and gets its aim right with computer control. Try to beat that.